Hello, St. Mary's friends. I'm so glad you've joined us here for Storytime today. We have two really great stories to share with you today. One comes from the Bible, and it is a story about Jesus the vine. I know that sounds a little odd, so I'm just going to read it to you so it becomes clearer. Jesus wanted people to know more about his love for everyone. Jesus said, think of plants in a garden. I'm like a vine. Now, do you have any vines that grow around your house? If you do, I want you to think about those for a second, about how they grow. I am like a vine, said Jesus. The branches that are joined to the vine grow fruit. A branch can't grow fruit without being connected to the vine. You know how the vine grows up and then the branches come off? Okay? When you're joined with me in love, I help you live the way God wants you to live. Jesus continued, God is the gardener, watching over the vine and its branches. The gardener makes sure the plants have all they need to live and grow. We understand, the disciples said. It's important to love you and stay connected to you, Jesus. But what else is important? The most important thing Jesus told his disciples is to love each other like I love you. When you do, God will know and will give you everything you need. So here he is, Jesus telling them about being branches connected to the vine. So Jesus wants us to know that we are connected to him always, and that when we stay connected to him, we can do really great things. Really good things happen, like the branches grow fruit. Now, I have a story today that, really is so much like this gospel story. Now, before I tell you the title, I didn't choose it because of the title, but maybe a little bit. Because Amelia Smiled is the name of the book. How about that? By David Ezra Stein. And this book is about what happens in the world because Amelia, this little girl here, smiled. So as we go through the story, think about the crazy ways that her one little smile spread all across the world and how it connected people all across the world. I'll see you at the end of the story. Because Amelia Smiled, written by David Ezra Stein, published by Candlewick Press. Because Amelia smiled coming down the street, Mrs. Higgins smiled too. She thought of her grandson Lionel in Mexico and baked some cookies to send to him. Because Mrs. Higgins baked cookies, Lionel ate one of the cookies. He decided to share the rest with his class and teach them an English song about cookies. Because Lionel taught his class a song, one of his students, kickboxer Sensacia Golpes, decided to be a teacher too. She had a cousin record her in the plaza and put the video online. Zesta Crump and her ballet club in England saw the video and decided to add some new moves to their Goodwill recital. In Israel, Katz Glerberman, age 4, who was in the audience, decided he liked dancing after all. At bedtime, he danced his brother Ichabod to sleep. Because Katz danced him to sleep, Ichabod slept all night through. In the apartment next door, Betty Marlinspike, a glamorous rumba queen, got a great night's sleep. She woke up in a good mood and took the band to get their hair done in Paris. The band felt so fancy, they gave a free show on the Pont Neuf. On the barge below, Gregor, an ex-clown, listened and sighed. Their love song, Con Corazon Intacto, reminded him of his old flame, the amazing Phyllis, who lived in Positano, Italy. The next morning, he bought a bouquet to send to her with a note that said, Phyllis, after all these years, will you marry me? Phyllis was so happy she threw roses from a high wire. She was caught on film by a TV crew that was doing a story on stray cats. Back in New York, Lydia Frittata saw Phyllis on TV while making pizzas on Carmine Street. On the subway home, she began a scarf of roses for her niece, Pia Maria. She sat across from Pigeon Man Jones. He watched her and remembered his dear old grandma who loved to knit. When he got back to his rooftop and let the pigeons out, he wondered if maybe somehow, wherever Grandma was, she could see them. Because Pigeon Man Jones let his birds out, Amelia saw them, and she smiled. Wasn't that a good story? Amelia, who just is smiling, makes this whole ripple effect happen. And then what happens in the end? It comes back to her, which I think is so special. So Amelia's one act of smiling touched people in so many different places in the world. And people, because they could feel some kind of special love in the world, were able to share it with others, wanted to share it with other people. And so that's a little bit like what Jesus was telling us about being connected to him, being the branches to his vine, that when we are connected to him, all kinds of good things happen. And we end up being connected to people all over the world. I don't know if you got to see Storytime from last week, but we got to see pictures of children from all over the world. It's amazing to think about how big and beautiful and connected we are by love in this big, amazing world. So this week, when you are out doing your thing, I wonder if you could imagine what might happen if you just did one small good thing. What might happen? Maybe you and your mom or dad can play a big, long imagine game and say, and then this happened. But I promise you that there is nothing good that you do in this world that doesn't connect you to somebody else, near or far. I hope that you remember how very much you are loved. We miss you and love you, and we cannot wait to see you again soon.